adjustments and make good progress there. Excellent.
I'm going to echo a lot of what Kevin said. For a big guy, you're consciously not using your strength or your size advantage. You're using your movement and the energy. It seemed like there was a lot of overpowering. It just wasn't happening. It was smooth and balanced. I think I particularly liked the Joe Jiwaza. A couple of times you were going for a technique, it wasn't there. You didn't panic, you just stayed relaxed, and you moved until you found the right, where the energy was going, and you adapted to that. So to me, that was one of the things that really showed your connection to the energy. It didn't work one way, it just went the other way until you found it. The only two things I would say is more of things you're doing right, do more. The flowing with energy, using your center, wonderful, even more. The Zanshin was pretty good most of the time, even more. Fantastic job. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Both drills were really nice. Tachiwaza was also nice. Your demonstration of the 2 key development exercise I really enjoyed because first you picked some really good key exercises to do, and second your explanation and examples were very simple to the point, which is going to come in handy if you keep that approach when you get up and start teaching your own classes one day. Your Randori was really cool because I was coming at you with a lot of power, and your movements were very controlled and effective, nothing exaggerated, and repelled me from you. So that was really cool. Good job.
Karen. This is going to be hard because watching this and taping and watching to critique, it's multitasking. But I really enjoyed the test, and I would reiterate what Kevin and David and even Bill said. I enjoyed the entire test. I especially enjoyed, like on the Randori, Joshua had you kind of around from the back, and you were continuing to deal with the other opponents who were continuing to attack, and you maintained your calm and you maintained your demeanor within that, and dealing with Joshua's attack at the proper time. You weren't worried that he was hanging on to you through a couple other attacks and such. And I definitely like how you're moving. I've seen great progress from when we were practicing before your last test. I've really seen a lot. You're a lot more controlled. You're more centered, and you're moving better. It's definitely very visible, and you can see it. So, great test.
So I'll start with the strengthener before the strengths. Just a couple of things that I noticed. Your proximity to uke and your posture. It's just because you're a bigger person and you're taller, you just have to be aware that, don't bend over. It's okay to be big and tall. Maintain it. Use it to what's good for you. You don't have to literally stoop to the other person's size, right? Keep your size. It's perfectly okay. But then you're going to have to adjust yourself to do that. So those are my couple of strengtheners that go hand in hand. Here are the strengths that I saw. Number one, I kept looking at the title of the test, and it said second Q, and I thought, there's no way. I thought Pat was already a second Q moving into first Q. And so, and your exam today showed that. That's why I kept looking at it. Are we doing second Q or first Q? Because your movements are very good. You heard all the comments about relaxation and those types of things, and they all showed up. I mean, the flow was really good, and I'll say it again, because you're big, you will be tempted to use power that is not necessary or that's artificial. And you don't do that. You really don't do that. So that's a good thing. Keep breathing, stay relaxed, and I mean, it's just a very impressive text. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Before Sensei continues, who did you bring with you today?
Oh, this is my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and their children. Jet, the youngest nephew, studies martial arts a little bit now, and Sammy says he wants us to throw him around some.
Thank you all for coming out today.
Well, the ultimate technique, as you know, and I think everybody witnessed today, is to be centered and to do what you have to do when Aikido comes towards you. So you're going to be very pleased when you watch this videotape because the issue that we had in the previous test was what? Too much thinking, too much reacting, too much of everything, too much of what we don't want. And he was saying too much of something else, but we have to release other things before we can do too much of anything else. So you were very open to my suggestion about just having more patience and allowing the person to come towards you so you could find out what's going to take place before you start thinking about technique because you are quite analytical. And that's not an issue about being analytical. It's just there's a time and place to be analytical, but it's not on the mat because we don't have time for that. So you did trust me, and you could see the results, and you've been practicing it. And I told you, when you have your next test, you're going to see a major leap because this is really the essence of our training. We can teach you hundreds of techniques, but if you don't have the mindset, it's not going to work. So this is definitely the direction that we want to take in our training. So I really don't have anything to critique, that we can always improve in anything. There's no perfect test, but I'm so proud of the adjustment that you made and that you took because you could see the self-control in the test. Is there anything that you'd like to say?
Well, I would just first I would thank my ukes for helping me with this, and my last minute ukes as well. I hope it could give you some enjoyment. And thank you both, Sensei Wood and obvious Sensei. Obviously, you found the key. There's always one little thing that makes everything work out, and you help me find that. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Karen, for videotaping. Thank you,
We'll see how
family,
good
for
it is.
attending and coming and watching. And thank you, Wood Sensei, also, because in the demonstrations, when we had the seminars, there were elements of what you were teaching that, again, were those little key little points like, oh, you mean this. And it makes the rest come clear. Everybody I've trained with has had a hand in that. Kevin with Shihanagi, he said, oh, just do this. Oh, okay, I can do that. So those little things help, and so it's really great to get to train with such proficient and well-intended people too. Thank you very much.